Welcome. You're going to learn some pen techniques to create a tree stump, water, and more. Enjoy the video. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a tree stump. So you want to have the tree stump 1/3 over. It's going to be large. It's going to be in the foreground of your landscape. And so if you were to measure your paper, and this one's 12 inches, I divide that by 3, and so 4 inches over, somewhere around 4 inches over, will be your tree. Well, over here, we take this measurement, it's 9, and 3 inches down would be like that kind of resting area. So we're going to use the rule of thirds. So I'm going to just put a mark at say 4 inches, and then 3 inches down. So somewhere into the middle here, I'm going to draw an oval shape, like a foreshortened circle with my pencil. And then I'm going to start drawing down. And I'm going to have the tree stump get wider as it reaches the bottom. And then I'm going to angle the roots at a diagonal. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just have a branch. Same thing with your branches. You want them as they reach away, they get smaller. So as your tree goes up, it gets smaller. And I'll just put a simple little branch in there. So you want to draw that very lightly. Now I'm going to show you how to work with your pen. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make some changes to this as I go. Going to make it more lifelike, be a little loose with my mark making techniques. I'm just going to focus on the outlines for now. Okay, well, there's my tree stump. I'll end up putting it on some land. So what we're going to do with this is I'm going to kind of work almost like a dotted line, and I'm going to put the rings around right there. Just a few marks with the rings. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to follow the contour. I'm going to follow the outline, and I'm going to wiggle my lines a little bit. And I'm going to space them out. I'm going to follow the flow of the tree. I'm going to be a little uneven with my marks. I'll follow the edges all the way down. And then when the angle changes, I still follow those angles. So try not to be so controlled with your marks. Give it that bark look. Now, if I wanted to, I could have put little holes in the trees and gone around those as well. So little knots, little things like that. Then what I'll do is I'll put some shorter marks in between and play around with that as well. I'll go ahead and play around with some line variety. So I'll thicken up some lines. So that's another thing that you could develop with your textures, lines. Okay. Some more small marks in there. So I'm liking the way this is looking. You can go through and again add in some variety of line. So little parts where there could be little shadows. Now if you get really advanced with your mark making, this is a great way to start. You can start getting more marks on one side and less marks on the other side to show lighting. So you could show the variety of lights and darks. But for now, this will be good enough for what we're doing. Okay, so that's how you could do the bark there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in some rocks. And I'm just going to put in some crosshatch marks. Again, I'm just going to put in some rocks, some loose cross-hatching. And then in the grass in the foreground, because what we're doing with our landscape is we're working foreground, middle ground, background. So we're definitely going to want to have taller grass. And just like anything else, when you start off with your mark making further apart, and you could go back in and add more. So like down below the rocks, I could put in little clusters. I could randomize little patches, be a little bit loose with our upward hatching. All right, so that would be how you would do your foreground. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you how to do water. I'm going to say probably a third up. I'm going to make a little beach shore. Okay. Now, when you do water, let's say if I had a tree here, I'll go ahead and do that tree. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so watch this mark making. I'm going to go kind of a loose scribble. And I'm going to just almost make a triangular shape. So I'm going left, 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 down, 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 right, right, right. Okay. And what we could do is create a little shadow. I'm going to have my light coming this way. I'm going to put in some grass underneath the tree, and then I'm going to have that move over there. All right. Here, what I'm going to do, this is just going to be my shoreline. I'm just going to go ahead and put some stippling here for some sand. We do little patches of grass. And as I told you before, when you work with pen techniques, always start off with your technique spaced out. So you could then put in some more variety of textures and values. Okay. So that's the scribble technique and so forth. All right, so what I do with water is I'm going to very lightly with my pencil, I'll erase it out. I'm going to draw the underneath part of a tree. If there was another tree, I would do that as well. With your water, where there's reflection, you're going to use horizontal hatching, but you're going to have it closer. So what I do is I space it out like that. Okay. Then I keep all my lines horizontal. It'll contrast all the other marks. I'm going to give some variety of marks in here. Keep all your marks horizontal for water, and then it will contrast against all the upward hatch marks that you do for grass. So like in here, you're going to keep your grass really light, short upward hatch marks further apart. I'm going to give stippling all through here. Okay. There you go. That's how you do a tree stump, your foreground with the water. Here would be the start of your middle ground. So you would make your trees a lot smaller when you do trees. And there you go. So you could explore different types of trees and have fun with this. Thank you for watching my video. Do something amazing with your art and be a good person. Have a wonderful day.